Okay, friends, as promised, this is the reading for folks who I was addressing in video 2 of Lessons Learned, okay? That series I'm doing on New Age spirituality, manifestation, law of attraction, and all that kind of stuff, okay? So in video 2, we talked about, how fast things actually manifest and what it really takes, all right? And so that's what that video is about. And in that video at the end, I mentioned that I was going to be doing a reading specifically for folks who resonated with that stuff, who resonated with what I was sharing, and just needed a little bit more support around that. And so here we go. That's what I've got. So I've got the cards. I'm going to go through what was pulled and share that with you. And so really this is, and even if you didn't see the video, if you are somebody who is frustrated around how things are, manifesting or not manifesting, and ultimately just the speed at which things aren't happening, this is a reading for you for sure. And I highly encourage you to check out that video. Most definitely, please check out that video if you are really wanting things to manifest faster. All right, so the first card that ended up being pulled, okay, from my Green Witch's Oracle deck, was the card of Fruit, which is the card of achievement and success, which is just really perfect on the back of that reading. All right, fruit is tangible proof of an achievement. When we say that something has borne fruit, we mean it has been successful. In this way, the fruit card tells you that all your hard work has yielded a satisfying result or is about to produce a wonderful result. Be proud of your efforts. Okay, producing something, a project, an object, a baby, takes time, energy, and attention. And sometimes work can be invisible to others, happening behind the scenes or internally. The fruit of that labor, however, is proof that energy was invested. Recognize and honor it. Fruit also tells you that you can catch your breath for a bit. Celebrate your success. So here's the thing. One, it might be a moment of pause or celebration, but here's the thing that I really want to speak to, because again, in that previous video, we were talking about, what it really means to or what it takes to manifest, and actually putting in effort and aligned action. And that can be like, oh no, right? Given some certain language, check out the video. You'll be up to speed with what I mean by that. But the other thing, and this is an analogy that came to me a little bit ago, and it's perfect with this fruit card. It reminds me a bit of what it means and what it takes to bear fruit. So thinking about the process, right? Like, let's imagine it's an apple tree. All right. So like, let's imagine first that seed of like the tree, like, right. So the seed of the tree. So planting a seed, the process of that happens of the nurturing of that and all of the growing roots and all of the things that are happening beneath the surface before, and whether we're talking about a plant or anything else, right? Before it ever comes above ground, before there's ever anything even visible in the first place. All right, we're not even talking about bearing fruit yet. We're talking about just popping up above ground. So you've got that process, right? We'll call that like a stage 1, or maybe that's stage 1 and 2 between like the planting itself and then the actual growing of roots. Then it's got to come through the surface, right? It's got to come through the surface, all right? And so there's that. And then there's the continual growth, right? However long that process happens, we'll call maybe stage 3 the bursting through, the becoming visible, right? And we'll call stages 4, maybe stage 4 is super long, maybe it's 4 and 5, right? These elements of growth where it's growing tall and it's strong and the roots are still growing out and all these things are taking place. And now we've got branches, maybe that's stage 5 or 6. We've got branches coming, and then maybe 6 or 7 is like leaves, and all these things are happening. And then we finally got some apples, these apples that are blooming, right? Okay, so then not only that, we've got maybe the start of seeing, sorry, my hand's over here, like the start of seeing the apple bloom. And like, that's a little bitty thing, right? Like, so then that has to go through, it's like that same process that like the tree did in the first place. It's got to go through that. And so now that's happening, right? And that's blooming and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's a process. What are we on? Stage 7, 8, 9, maybe even at this point, until finally at some point that fruit is there and ready and ripe, ready to be picked, ready to be consumed, right? Finally, the full culmination has happened, okay? The bearing of fruit, the fruit has happened. That's the process, right? We are part of nature. There's no reason, ultimately, there's no reason to, I don't want to say think, but assume that our process would go any faster than that. Again, as I spoke to, things can happen just like that. Timeline shifts, collapses, alignment, boom, 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 quantum physics. Yes. And why are you needing it to go fast? And perhaps not relying on that thing in order to make it happen. Because again, when we're relying on a thing that has it just drop in like that, a lot of times we are resisting something. There's something we do not want to do. And we can tell ourselves it's not how we think, or it's not what resonates. And while that can be true to a degree, there's also, usually it is pointing to something, mentally, physically, spiritually, or emotionally. There is something going on, right? Especially when, again, it's not manifesting. It's one thing if it does, then great. But if it's not, let's maybe reorient around how we're thinking about manifestation and possibly really anchor and root ourselves in nature. Because again, nature, things bloom at different times. The pregnancy process for a human is very different from that of an elephant, right? Humans are 9 months, and elephants are 2 years, basically. You know what I mean? Sometimes things are just different. So can a thing occur quickly? Yes. Is it always going to happen? No. Why do you need it to happen? Okay, and it's not about, and this is the trick of some of this line of thinking, it's not a weakness. It's not a lack of your belief. It's okay to recognize and accept that things, not everything just drops like that. There's a reason why it was said that money doesn't grow on trees. Now, I have other problematic issues with that, but I think the point was just all right, I already see where someone's gonna be oh, well, see, your belief is that it can't just come in like that. That's another video. We'll get there. I'm gonna make a note right now. So, it is not about not allowing for the possibility and not being open to it. Come and get me. And are we avoiding anything? Are we bypassing a truth? Let's also look at that. And if we're being honest with ourselves, where are we in the process of that tree growth, right? If we can anchor ourselves there, things can still happen quicker than that. By all means, be open to it. Let it happen and go with it. Not saying it won't. But from a sense of healthiness and sturdiness, steadiness, let it be the tree process. Identify where you are within that and keep doing your thing and keep growing and let the chips fall where they may. And again, it may go super quick and it may not. That's the reality. All right, so not to get up on my soapbox, but to get up on my soapbox a little bit. All right, so fruit. Thank you for that card. All right, next we pulled, that's right, pulled a card from the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle deck. You're gonna hate me for this. I pulled the card of Perseverance. Here we are. Turquoise, Earth Element, number 12, woot woot. It's a 3. I think that's collaboration, cooperation. Nice, interesting. So Perseverance here, also intention, serenity, and gateway. Even though times can get tough and it may feel like obstacles continue to prohibit your achieving your goals, which we already know from that achievement card. I don't need to pull it out again, but we're gonna get there. From achieving your goals, your perseverance is the key to your abundance. Setbacks are a natural form of progression, but how you handle these unexpected events and disappointments is the true signifier of what achievements you are capable of and how far you can go. Perseverance is in your frame of mind. You can choose to either remain defeated or push through and find other ways to get everything you've dreamt of. The earth element represents stability, practicality, and hard work. Here we are, friends, all of which are essential for establishing firm foundations and boundaries to continue to build upon during your journey. No matter how many times you are deterred or shaken, you can return to this earthly elemental energy and remember why you started it all and what you are striving for. Okay, it says turquoise assists in navigating through life's obstacles, enhancing energetic feelings of wholeness, serenity, and emotional balance. It acts as a gateway between the heavens and the earthly realm to give you the power to stay completely grounded, but fluid enough to be deeply connected with spirit. And that's what keeps us open, okay, for anything to occur. All right, we're grounded and we're open, and we're grounded and we're spiritually connected. We have our roots in the earth, we're rooted in the earth, and we have our arms stretching forth towards the sky, okay? Let's see. The active, well, yeah. Dive into if turquoise resonates with you, there are some activation guidance you can do around that. You can, okay, I'll just read it in case it does resonate. Turquoise has the capability of retaining a specific frequency you program it with, so teach it to be your second in charge on your journey. Write down 2 or 3 specific manifestations and intentions on a slip of paper. Bury the paper and your turquoise together in soil to charge in the earth for 24 hours. Remove the stone from the earth, but let the paper remain. You may or may not resonate with that. I think that's going to be about your process. If that resonates, great. If not, I understand. And find your own experience. It doesn't have to be about turquoise at all, okay? They give the affirmation, I have the strength within me to overcome any obstacle that stands in my way. You know, so again, if that resonates and that is where you can connect and that's where your belief lies, that is wonderful, and allow that to sink in, embody it, and rest secure in that. And if that doesn't resonate for you, great. Let's just focus in on perseverance at large and the messages that came with the card. All right. All right. Boom. Moving on. We've also got, ding, 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 snow. Where are you, snow? All right. Snow came out, which is rest and contemplation. Perfect. Snow plays a variety of roles in the winter season. In a garden, snow adds nutrients, elements, and moisture to the soil. It also acts as an insulator, keeping the ground and plants protected from major temperature fluctuations. The peace of a snowfall invites you to release the stress you've been carrying. But snow isn't always peaceful. Snowstorms force you to sit still, shutting down activity and travel. Without your typical choices, storms force you to confront what you might have been avoiding. This is perfect, y'all. There's aspects. Sometimes when the thing is not happening, we are being forced into, why did it just get darker? I'm not sure. We are being forced into a different direction. We are being forced to reconsider, to rethink. Nature's guiding us in that way. All right. What have you been avoiding, perhaps? Okay. The snow card. What are you trying to bypass? The snow card asks you to reflect on the past. Time gives you a clear head with which to review these events. Snow can help you work through your emotions and see the past in a more balanced fashion. Trust what may seem like a slowdown, because it could be exactly what you need to stay safe. All right, and so there's a reality here where sometimes, again, that detour is exactly what you need to get you on the path that is for the highest good for you, okay? And then it says, what good things can you carry forward in life? What good things can you carry forward in life, and what can you release? All right, and so that's the snow card. So we're coming in, we've got that fruit, achievement and success, we've got perseverance, and we've got rest and contemplation with the snow, okay? And I believe I pulled, let's see, we've got 2 more. One I'll speak, one I'll read, and the other one is something else. We've got Oak Tree, which is the card of power, courage, and strength. I kid you not, I did not go in and choose these. Literally, these were the cards pulled, so I think pretty perfect for this. All right, the oak tree is a popular symbol of strength. The wood is dense and durable, reliable and long-lasting. This tree symbolizes power and bravery, telling you that you can stand up to whatever storm is on the horizon. The mighty oak begins as a tiny acorn. It is reassuring to know that something so immense and strong started out as something that you can hold between 2 fingers. Here it is, this is the process. Not only does it remind us that small things can yield huge results, it also reminds us that growing takes time. Rapid growth uses energy to reach a goal quickly. Slow growth uses energy to ensure stable, strong development. The oak tree card urges you to be brave and to stand tall. The reflection is there something you've been avoiding because of the fear of confrontation? All right. And so this is beautiful. This is beautiful related to our tree analogy, the bearing fruit, the perseverance, the last video, in that series, the second video in that series, the one I just released, right, around what it really takes. Okay, these are the things to sink into. This is really grounded, okay, really, really grounded. And if this has been painful, I wonder then perhaps, is there some healing in those lower chakras? Is there something around that root chakra element, around safety, security, stability, that there's just stuff? And I don't want to go too far and heal your root chakra, and because that can be any and all these things, like anything, a tool can be there and things can be there, but depending on where you are in your journey, you may not be navigating it in the way that's actually going to be the best for you, or that's actually going to heal something. A lot of this stuff you can easily continue a bypass on, and it's tricky, okay? And so there's a lot of times, if there's really a big reaction, a strong like no, and a strong resistance, I'm not saying you have to go and do the thing that's causing that. What I am saying is that's giving you information. That's giving you information, and especially if the information that's coming through is otherwise perhaps grounded and trustworthy, pay attention to it. Be cautious around letting language that sounds really nice and that feeds like the wound and unhealed part to keep going in a direction that's not actually helpful. Just be cautious around that and really take a look at it. And again, are you bearing fruit? Notice what's actually happening. Notice what is going on within reality. That doesn't mean that you don't stay mindful of the timeline shifts and the timeline collapses and the alignment and the things coming in, but it does mean navigating that openness in a very stable way. All right, we don't have to resist, and we don't have to like launch in. Like, there's a balanced way we can navigate it, remaining open to all possibilities and keeping ourselves grounded. That's all. Just keeping ourselves grounded and moving forward. Okay. And then I also pulled the moon. All right, and this is the phases, cycles, and intuition. And what I just want to speak to around this is just, again, noting for yourself that you have your own process. Like all the different plants and trees and the species that have different pregnancy processes. Like, every human also has like a different process. And to note for yourself, like, to really go inward around, like, okay, what is my cycle that I'm processing through? What do I know? What have I learned about my own pattern of behavior, around my own pain, around my resistance? What it is that I want, where my points of growing and learning are, and just like tuning into the own cycle and rhythm of your life, of your patterning of your soul, and just sinking into that and allowing that to inform you around this process as well. And as always trust your intuition above all else. And maybe we'll speak to that a bit. And that actually, on the intuition piece, that might speak to the first video that I released in this Lessons Learned series around why you might resonate with a reading, be it tarot reading, oracle reading, or intuitive reading that you receive, and something resonates really deeply, and it's hitting all the points, and everything about it feels good and true, and then nothing happens or doesn't go that way. I did a video on that, addressing the why nothing happened, and there's a few key elements in that video, and so perhaps checking that out may be helpful for you as well. And so I do have a playlist called Lessons Learned, where you can find all the videos for the Lessons Learned series. Okay, and so at the time of this particular recording, there are 2. Okay, and I may actually put this reading, I may add it to the playlist just because there is a connection. So you might see that in there as well. And lastly, let's see, where am I at? What do I feel? That feels forced. That feels forced. I'm gonna take a quick pause to make sure that's accurate. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. There's a blessing to bring clarity that I pulled. I had pulled this card, and I'm feeling not inspired or called to read the whole thing right now, but I'm just gonna read a small section of it, okay? And it says, "May the clarity you seek now come to you as you remember to return to the clarity that lies deep within you. May there be a shedding of ideas and beliefs that do not belong to you, for you are far more than a collection of beliefs held by others and taught to you, more than your conditioning." And I'm going to speak to that. Be that stuff that you're really trying to like move away from, but then also stuff that is not actually helpful, right? Like, there's this kind of in-between of what is really there, what is whole, what is healed, what is possible, what is available, and also what remains grounded and most clearly helping you without confusion. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it, okay? There's clarity here. You are a clear soul that has a transparency to your own self, so you know what it is that you seek in this world because you understand who you are deep within and from that place you live. In this way, the clarity comes, the mists lift, the veils part, the path is lit up, and you shine that inner light out, making bright the path ahead. And again, that's going to be grounded and embodied, okay? It's not the flash bulb, like the quick, bright light that burns out and isn't sustainable. This is like, yeah, there it is. It's deep, it's soul level, okay? It's grounded, it's clear. And there's an opening there. There's a relaxation. There's a lightness to it as well. Okay? You are more than a series of plans and expectations. You are a soul, finding your way to the knowledge of your own self. And when you begin to find out who you are within, the clarity you seek will come again and again to cut through the tangled thoughts, to clear the path of debris, to move aside those who do not wish for you the best, to discover for yourself what is best and right for you to do in this moment. And thus, with clarity, dear friend, thou will be blessed again and again. Blessed be. Okay? And so with everything, friends, like, tune into yourself. Tune into that intuition, your knowing above all else. Be honest with yourself. Be willing to confront the truth. Be willing to heal as you can. Find your support. Find your trusted companions. Okay? Go within, and again, no one else is here to tell you what to do. People can offer helpful guidance, helpful support. If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And sometimes, you know, the path, you just are meant to keep going through things, and life will teach you. Nature accomplishes everything in its time. All will be accomplished that needs to be accomplished in you, through you, and for you. Okay, so I hope that you can take that into the days and weeks ahead. Stay tuned on the rest of Lessons Learned and whatever other readings are coming your way, okay? So if this resonated with you, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. All of that helps me continue to put out content in a way that, you know, it feels good. It feels good when I know that the messages are being received. And above being received, just being helpful. So if it helps you, you know, if it doesn't, by all means, move on. But if it does, I'd love to know it. So thank you very much. Again, wishing you all so much peace, love, joy, strength, perseverance. You're doing great. Keep doing the thing. Don't give up. Keep breathing. And rest. Rest is yours. Rest is your birthright. That feels right. Rest is your birthright. And don't shy away from continuing to go after what feels right and true for you in a way of peace, steadfastness, security, and love. All right, we'll see you in the next one.